and it is April, and happy spring to you guys. I am so happy winter's over. and, again, I want to welcome all the new faces to this group. And, really why I started this group was I had noticed in my own journey as a business owner that I personally started my business about 6 years ago, and I struggled with really showing up in a way that made me look like an expert and stand out from the rest of the pack and really find my own unique value. So this is the group for coaches and healers who want to stop hiding and want to start broadcasting their brilliance and scale their business to 5-figure months with clarity, confidence, and conviction, right? We need all of those things. For those of you tuning in, let me know that you can see me and you can hear me okay. Before I roll in, just let me know that you can see me and hear me okay. Hopefully we won't have any technical issues this week. So if you jump into this live, go ahead and let me know if you can see me and hear me okay, and we'll get rolling. Looks like I'm live, so we'll just go ahead and get started. See me and hear me okay. So this week I want to talk about this concept of giving your power away. And I think oftentimes, like, if I was to walk up to somebody on the street and say, hey, did you know you might be giving your power away? They're going to look at me. You will probably look at me like I'm some kind of like a psycho, right? Like, what does it even mean to give our power away? And for those of you tuning in, just go ahead and let me know in the comments if you can hear me and see me okay. Just go ahead and let me know. For those of you tuning in, can you guys hear me okay? Sometimes I have my mic off, so I just want to make sure you guys just go ahead and give me a yes, give me a thumbs up in the comments, and let me know. Because this is such an important topic. And look, if you don't understand, first of all, if this is all new to you and, I'm telling you, hey, you might be giving your power away. If you don't even know what that means, then you're probably doing this. You're probably giving away a lot more attention and time and energy away to people who haven't really earned that, right? They're not really paying you for that much attention and time. However, we end up being in this place where we feel like we have to prove ourselves. So go ahead and just let me know. Cool, Maria, thank you so much. Awesome to see you here, Maria. I love how you're here every week. So obviously the people who show up consistently are going to get the most out of this group. So awesome to see you here, Maria. And as others jump in, we're just going to go ahead and get started because there's no time to waste. So why is it important to understand this topic of giving our power away? First of all, like I just said, if you don't know about this, if this is brand new to you, you're probably doing this. You're probably giving away way too much of your time, your energy, and your control over yourself away to other people. It's like you've released the reins on your life. And this can look like letting others upset you, or you may get defensive, or you become submissive and act in ways that are against your own health and well-being. And I'm going to say that again because this is so important to understand. This is the fuel behind your business, is your personal power. Because you can operate your business like a victim, or you can operate your business by a leader and build other leaders up, right? Do you want to operate like a victim and be victims with your whole audience? Or do you want to be a leader and build up other leaders around you, right? Because there certainly both exist in this world. And it's just a matter of deciding, who do you want to attract? Who do you want to be around? And also remember, if this is going on in your business, if you're giving away too much of your attention, time, and energy away in your business, you're also doing this in your personal life. And this is something I've witnessed in myself and over again with the clients that I work with. So, why is this important? And how do you know if you're doing it? So, when you let others upset you, or you get defensive, or become submissive in a way that works against your well being or your health, or you operate out of guilt or shame, or you allow others to intimidate you. And I know I said a lot right there. And believe it or not, most of the country operates this way. So this is going to be really important to understand. And this is another level, another breakthrough I have to help clients with, because when they start reclaiming their own power, when you start reclaiming your own power, a lot of other people aren't going to like it. Like, I'm not going to bullshit you here. Like, I am committed to truth here in this group, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Look, when you guys start to empower yourselves, there's going to be people who don't like it. There's going to be that. However, you don't let that become a reason not to. You know, I can just think about, I was at the gym a couple of days ago, and I was walking by, and this girl like rolled her eyes when she saw me. And that's not the first time I've had girls roll their eyes at me at the gym. Why? I don't know. Like, we don't know each other. We've never spoken. We've only seen each other. But oftentimes it's because there's something that they desire that they don't know how to get. And oftentimes it's our energy that they're after. It's not your looks. Oftentimes we'll blame it on, well, that person just wants the amount of money that I have, or that person just wants to look like me, or that person just wants all the stuff that I have, or I have this and I have that, and I have this degree and I have this fancy car and blah, blah, blah. No. What people get jealous over is your energy, is your ability and willingness to advocate for what you want in your life. That's where people start to really resent you, because you're willing to advocate for what you want. You're willing to speak up, and they're not. And so they will resent you, roll their eyes, whatever. I've learned to see that now as a compliment when women roll their eyes at me. So it's important to remember this piece. Don't back down when you start this process, okay? So why is it important to start to bring your power back inside of yourself and your business? Well, again, if your personal relationships are like are shaky, they're built on an unstable foundation, you're like, some days you're like, I'm worthy and I'm amazing, and other days you're like, oh crap, like I'm an imposter, I don't feel good, like what if they find out, I can't handle this. And then other days again you're like, woo, I got this. And other days you're like, oh shit, like is this gonna work out? Like, it's this really unstable foundation. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? This unstable foundation. If you know what I'm talking about, put unstable in the comments. Like, let me know that you're resonating with this. Just go ahead and drop the word unstable in the comments. And it's because, why this happens is because the relationship we have between us and ourselves is unstable. And that's why this ends up happening. Okay? So here's what happens. When you're giving your power away in your business, you end up relying on others or to feel like you're good enough. Or when you feel like others here's what happens. When you're giving away your business, you often feel like others are depriving you of opportunities or privileges. You feel like others are depriving you of privileges and opportunities. And what is that going to be like when you're trying to run a business? Like, you have to operate at your maximum potential, and you will never get to your maximum potential fighting against yourself. It's just not going to happen, right? It just makes sense. If there's a barrier between you and being in alignment, then it's always going to be a battle to get clients, to make money, to get the things that you want in life, to get your dream house, to get that dream car. It's like, even if you get that dream car, you're probably not going to keep it for some reason, because maybe your finances go to shit, or you end up not feeling good enough to keep it, so you sell it. Like, even though we can acquire acquire things through manipulation and just through strategy alone, we don't end up keeping it. And this is exactly what happens with money. This is exactly what happens with money. This is the reason why you might bring in, like, let's say maybe you have a $10,000 week or you have a $20,000 week, and that money goes right back out the door. Maybe not immediately, but over time, that money ends up just, you keep going back to your threshold. And I talked about this last week about removing your abundance blocks. So if you rely on your clients and customers, or anybody for that matter, for your emotional well-being and stability, your life is at their mercy. Do you realize that? Do you realize that if how you behave and how you feel about anything is depending on what your clients and customers do, you're at their mercy. And I wish I had better news, right? But here's the thing, we can turn this around. So here's what happens when you operate from this place. This is what it may look like in business. So here I have some examples of how you may be giving away power in your business. And also, again, this is going to reflect in your own personal life with your spouse, partner. A lot of people give their power away to their kids. Oh my goodness. I see my sister constantly giving her power away to her children. And a lot of parents in the United States feel powerless with their children. You guys know what I'm talking about? You guys know what I'm talking about. See? So here's some examples of how this shows up in business. So when you're on an enrollment call and your clients and customers, you say your rate, you're like, it's 6,000, it's 10,000, it's 12, it's 15,000, or it's $997 per month, whatever your program is. And you see them go into pain, you see them go into stress. They're like, and you go with them, right? You're like, oh yeah, I know, yeah. It's what's just happened there? You've just slipped into victim mode with them. You're no longer in a leadership. You're no longer in a place to empower them. Now you're giving your power away. It's like you're sub-communicating. Yeah, I'm actually not that great after all. Yeah, I know it really does bite, right? It does suck to have to spend that much money on my program, right? That's basically what you're sub-communicating. This can also look like when a customer says no or walks away, you feel discouraged and you give up and you take your foot off the gas. And it doesn't have to be a client or customer walking away. And for those of you joining in, drop your name. Let me know who's here. Let me know who's watching. Let's get to know each other. So for those of you tuning in, just go ahead. Let me know who's here. Say hi, wave, let me know where you're from and what your business is. What's your coaching business? What's your expertise as you guys are rolling in here? So when you don't get the outcome you want, you end up taking your foot off the gas. Maybe you do a live stream like this, right? You do a live stream like this in your group or on Instagram or wherever your following is, and you don't get the interaction you're looking for. You don't get that many likes or that many viewers or that many people, purchasing your mastermind or your masterclass or your event or whatever. And because you don't get the outcome you want, you're like, okay, well, what's the point? Or, nobody cares. Do you see how fragile of a place you're in when you take your foot off the gas because you're not getting the outcome that you want? And I remember I did this for so many years, and why it sucked so bad was because every time I took my foot off the gas, I had to build up the confidence. I had to build up all of the reasons why to put my foot back on the gas again. So it's like you dig this hole, and then you got to dig yourself out of the hole. And it's just this bumpy road. Literally, it's like this bumpy road, right? So do you end up taking your foot off the gas? Do you stop doing the things because you're not getting the outcome that you're looking for? Maybe if you're like, okay, if I don't get 10 people to sign up, we're not doing this again. If I don't make if I don't make 20,000 this month, then we're gonna go abandon this and do something different. And this is how we keep ourselves stuck. I don't know how many programs and coaching programs that I did over the last 6 or 7 years that I ended up quitting because I didn't get the exact thing, the exact outcome that I wanted. You guys know what I'm talking about? You guys know what I'm talking about. Even if you're not running a business, what if you didn't get the outcome that you wanted in your relationship at the exact moment that you wanted it? And then you were like, well, I'm out. Like, I'm not going to do this. Right? So when you're giving your power away in your business, it makes you look low value. It makes you look like you don't believe in yourself. And here's what happens is you end up not being consistent. And then when you're not consistent, people cannot trust you. You guys, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, think about the last relationship you were in. Was it consistent or not? And if it wasn't consistent, did you stick around? Did you feel safe? Right? How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? Put trust in the comments if you've been here before. And go ahead and let me know. If you've been there, whether it's in your business or a personal relationship, you're like, I can't trust this person. I can't trust this person selling me this. It's just inconsistent. It's just not, they're not consistent. They show up sometimes and sometimes they don't. And I have fired people who I have hired to help me, but they're not consistent. And then you can't trust, right? Just making sure I can see all you guys. So how many of you have been here before? Put the word trust in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you've been on the side of I can't trust this person, or maybe somebody has not been able to trust you because you're not consistent. Because you're not consistent in your business. You're not showing up promptly. You're not doing the things every single week. You're not behaving and acting the same way all the time. You're doing this unstable, what's the point of living life? What's the point of doing this business? And other days you're like on this roller coaster high, right? It's very unstable. It's a very draining way to operate in your life. See what I mean? Here's also what happens is that when you give your power away, and again, we're talking your attention and your focus and your emotions and your energy, you're like over giving, right? Because you feel like you have to prove yourself. You don't end up setting boundaries because you're operating from guilt. You don't set boundaries because you feel guilty setting boundaries. You feel guilty of ending your sessions when they're supposed to end, right? Maybe you have your client sessions are 1 hour and then you end up going over because you're like, I have to prove myself. I have to be something exceptional, right? Or you end up saying you have your program in front of you and you lay it out, but then you feel guilty, so you cave, or you add on extra things just to entice them more, right? You're like, well, I can do this and I can do that for you and I can make it easier. And it's like you're in this place of trying to earn them versus them needing to step up to work with you. And this is what happens when you give your power away as a coach or consultant or a small business owner to customers and clients. Now, why does it make running a business almost impossible when you operate this way? Well, like we talked about, you end up not being consistent, which means your customers can't trust you, your audience cannot trust you. And why would, and then you end up taking your foot off the gas, right? And maybe you quit in your Facebook group, you quit in your Instagram, you quit on your Facebook page, or you quit running your ads or whatever it is. Like, for you to know that you're going in the right direction, you need someone else to give you a thumbs up. You need someone else to give you a pat on the back. You need someone else to make you feel good. Like somebody else has to make you feel good for you to do what's best for you. And you also may not be doing what's best for you. Do you see how treacherous those waters are? And you will always be a victim in your business when you operate from a place of like, I need this exact outcome for me to move forward, for me to be consistent, for me to keep doing the things every single day, right? Trust is built over time. Trust with your clients and your audience is built over time. It's not something that can be rushed. You can manipulate, but do you want to operate that way? Do you want to operate in a way where like you have to like pull in people that you don't even want to work with, right? They don't even end up being people that you want to work with. And that's how you end up with people who drain you. And the only thing worse than having no clients is having to show up with customers and clients that drain you and you don't even like, right? And that's where I was before I finally made this huge high ticket pivot in my business. And what ends up happening is you become hypersensitive to criticism. When you give your power away, when you give your emotional stability away to your audience or to your clients or to your spouse or whatever, you're giving away your life. You're giving away your whole flipping life, guys. Like, how are you gonna go after your dreams when you're sitting around waiting and hoping I hope somebody likes me. I hope I get a viewer. I hope somebody buys. I hope this. I hope that. You will never reach your full potential. Maybe you leave it up to your spouse or someone else for you to move forward in your life. I've had a few of these calls with potential clients who leave their whole life. They leave their decision making up to their spouse over their life. It's like they're the child. It's like they're the child of their spouse. Like, are you letting your spouse dictate whether you have fulfillment in your life or not? Whether you go after your dreams or not? Is your spouse dictating that? And I think it's such a treacherous, it's a horrible place to be if you're acting like your husband or your wife's child. Like that's just codependency right there. So you end up hypersensitive to criticism when you give your power away. You end up blaming your customers and clients rather than stepping up to who you want and need to be to attract what you want. You end up just pointing the fingers at everybody else. Well, they're just a crappy client. They're just lazy. They're just unmotivated. They're just this, they're just that. And you will never be able to help anybody by just blaming. Again, I've talked about this in the past. It's never all you and it's never all the other person, right? It's always co-created. Every relationship is co-created. And here's the thing. Here's the most embarrassing part of giving your power away is that you allow others to bring out the worst in you. You allow like naysayers and negative people to bring out the worst in you. An example is maybe you have a YouTube channel or you're doing live streams and somebody puts a comment and you get offended or you get submissive, you become submissive to them. In that instant, that's how quickly this happens. You shift like this. You can give away your power like this from a comment somebody made. Are you going to like quit your whole life's purpose because one person made a comment or two people made a comment or somebody rolled their eyes at you? Are you really going to give up your dream? Are you really going to give that much power to one person who you probably don't even know? A complete stranger online. And that's what so many people and so many coaches and consultants and healers end up doing. And it's heartbreaking, right? And if you don't fix this, you continue to allow your environment and people and things outside of you to basically dictate whether you're allowed to. It's like you live a permission-based life. You live a permission-based life. You always have to ask permission. You guys know what I'm talking about? Drop the word permission in the comment box. If you feel like I need permission from my spouse, I need permission from my kids, I need permission from myself, I'm not giving myself permission, right? I need permission from my friends. I need permission from my family to give me that thumbs up. Again, this is where people pleasing comes in. And you end up in the end blocking success, and actually you end up blocking high ticket and premium customers, your dream clients. You end up pushing your dream clients away. And again, I did this for so many years and it got so exhausting and I couldn't do it anymore. So you end up with severe burnout as well. You know, a great example is, here's a great way to tell if you're giving your power away. One easy way, and I challenge clients with this one. Do you, when you're checking out at the store and you're going to the register, do you hurry to get out of people's way? Do you hurry to check out? You're like, oh shit, I gotta check out. Let me hurry so I don't hold people up. That's you giving your power away. It's a very easy example. It oftentimes goes unconscious. It goes under the radar because it's just how we've been our whole lives. So do you rush to get out of other people's way? Maybe you rush your enrollment calls because your customer's in a rush. I've been on enrollment calls and it sounds like I caught them in the middle of like dinner or I caught them while they were driving, and you like hurry the call so you don't take up their time. That is one of the biggest way I see coaches sabotage their enrollment calls, is like you hurry up because you feel like you're bothering them. You're bothering your customers. You're bothering your clients. And that's got to be one of the biggest ways that we sabotage ourselves in our business and in our personal lives. And can you imagine living your whole life like this? Can you imagine being like in your 90s and looking back and there's no time left to fix this? And you've spent your whole life walking around on eggshells, never reaching your full potential. Because you're just you've been trained to feel like you're in everybody's way and you don't deserve time and space on this planet. And I know I'm speaking to people who can resonate with this. And if you know what I'm talking about, if this is hitting home for you guys, put me in the comments. If some of this is resonating with you guys, go ahead and drop me in the comments. Let's see who's here today. Who do we have on the line? Maria? Who else is on the line? If this is resonating with you, drop me in the comments. Because this is a very painful way to live. And you will never be your highest self when you're operating from a place of shame and guilt and you don't feel like you're allowed to do what you want in this life. Can you imagine running your business like this? If you are already, you already know what I'm talking about. And I know there's people here who know what I'm talking about. So what has to change? What needs to happen? How do we start to climb out of this hole, right? So here's what's missing so that you stop, like you put this roadblock down, like no more letting your power, your energy, your attention, and your time leak out. It's time to plug up the holes. It's time to plug up the leaks. Are you guys there? Go ahead. If you're ready to learn these next, there's 5 principles I'm going to teach you guys here so that you can plug up these holes and stop giving your power away. If you guys are ready, drop principles in the comments and we'll roll right in. So go ahead and drop principle in the comments to let me know that you want to know. Let me know that you guys want to know this, or else I'm just talking at the wall here. So let me know that you guys are ready to learn these 10 principles that I had to learn so that I stopped giving away I stopped leaking my energy, my time, my attention, my money, my assets, right? Maybe you've been guilt tripped into giving money to people. Like, I mean, people will do anything to get what they want, right? So here's the first principle. Thank you for Maria for tuning in and for sharing. Awesome to see you here. Whoever else is on the line, make yourself known. Start to speak out. Let's make ourselves seen and heard here today. That's the whole purpose of this group, right? Is to be seen and heard. So let's jump in. So the first principle here is, and these are going to be challenges, right? But focus on one at a time, is to start to be honest with a capital H. Start to be honest with clients and customers. Like 110% honesty. Like if you're on an enrollment call, if you're on a discovery call, and you get like this weird feeling like let's say you get an excuse, right? Like I can't afford it, or I need to talk to my spouse, I need to think about it. Call BS on that. Call BS on that. Most of the times these excuses are BS. Challenge them, right? They keep continuing this pattern because nobody's challenging them. Everybody's like, okay, well, have a nice day, right? Because everybody else is so busy being fake that you need to be the one beacon of light that they have found in their whole life. That's going to be their rock. And the only way you can do that is if you're being honest with yourself, but also with others. And again, everything I'm telling you here is going to copy and paste that into your personal relationships as well. Okay? Honesty with a capital H. Like when you're feeling anxious, you verbalize it. When you get a hunch like on your enrollment calls that your customers like is not serious about it, call them out on it. Be like, hey, are we really gonna follow up here? Like, do you plan on picking up? Because if not, I'm not gonna waste my time, right? You're being totally transparent. And don't you want to work with customers and clients that are transparent too? Or do you want to just raise other people pleasers? Do you want to just show up as a people pleaser, have them people pleasing you? It's one big people pleasing fest and so frustrating. And I was tired of it myself. Next piece here is to stop second guessing and stop dismissing your feelings. And again, this ties back into the honesty thing. Stop disregarding yourself. Like if you're in a client session and you're looking at your watch and it's time to go, like maybe your calls are an hour and it's been like an hour and 20 minutes, it's time to go. They have not paid you for that time. And when you start to give away free stuff, like free, right? Not really free, but it's a free to them, added time, added energy, bonuses, and especially on a regular basis, now this is how you're showing up consistently, you actually start to lose your value. You actually will start to lose value in your customers and clients' eyes because they know your session is for an hour or 90 minutes or 2 hours or whatever. And same with people. People know when they haven't earned what you are willing to give. This is the bottom line, what a lot of people don't realize. People know when they have not earned what you're giving them. People know. And there are people that will continue to take advantage of that. Most people won't stop you. Most people will continue to take and take and take. And that's where you get exhausted. That's where you get burned out. And you wonder how the heck you ended up with like 5 or 10 or 20 or even more draining clients who are not getting results, right? You've taken on all the responsibility on your shoulders. They have none. Again, because you need to prove yourself, because you're not enough, you need to prove yourself. You're going to give and give and give and give until you got nothing left. You guys know what I'm talking about? I can guarantee you, this is, again, happening in your personal life. It's happening in your business. And if it's happening in your business, it's happening in your personal life. And again, I'm going to say this one more time because it's so important. People know when they're taking advantage of you. They know. So it's time to stop when you have promised yourself, my sessions are an hour. When you have promised yourself, my package is 7,000. When you have promised yourself that I am this much per month, you do not back down, because people know when you start to devalue yourself. Are you devaluing yourself? And what is that going to subcommunicate? You're not worth it, right? Next principle here is start to challenge your assumptions. Start to challenge your assumptions about power, about authority. Start to challenge that. Like, if you think you need permission from your parents to go after your goals, or you need permission from your wife or your husband to go after your goals, challenge that. Like, do I really? Where did that come from? That doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're a grown adult, you don't need your parents' permission anymore, guys. If you're a grown adult, you don't need your spouse's permission to go after your dreams. In fact, I would question that if they're stopping you. You don't need your client's permission. You don't need your audience, your customers' permission to raise your rates. You do not need their permission to raise your prices. And oftentimes, if you're operating from this permission-based place, you're using a lot of permission-based language. Is that okay with you? Right? Do you mind? Get rid of that stuff. Get rid of that stuff. People know and they can hear when you start to devalue yourself. Okay? Next point here. Take responsibility in sessions or over enrollment calls or in your interaction with your customers and clients. Take responsibility for what's yours only. For what is yours only. Your reactions, what you said, what was coming up for you, your feelings, your behaviors. Take on what's yours. Give back what is not yours. A great example is when I used to work with really low quality clients, they would struggle to pay me. Because they were struggling with money, not because I wasn't worth it, but the money was just not really there for them either. And I could feel their pain around money and their stress around money. And you might be going there with them, right? You might cave and lower your rates because, they're struggling, they're having a hard time. You cannot empower anybody by depowering yourself, guys. You cannot empower anybody by depowering yourself. Okay? So give them responsibility back. Look, here's my rates. What can I do to help you find that money? Do you want to talk about an investment plan? Do you want to talk about a payment plan, right? You're not taking on their fears because you're there to help them through that. You're the coach. You're there to help them through that, right? And this, again, goes for any kind of relationship as well. Kids and their parents. If you have kids, you're supposed to be the rock, right? If you're married, you need to be the rock for your spouse, right? Next point here is, if you want to start getting your power back in your business, in your life, get comfortable with saying no. And I know already, just by saying that, you guys are like, oh my God, fear, anxiety, oh my God, like, how do I do that? I've struggled up till now, right? That's okay. It's okay to not have the answer in the second. All I'm saying is the first step to starting to plug up these holes where you're giving away all your energy, your time, you're leaking, you're draining yourself for others, is to get comfortable. Get more and more comfortable by saying, no, thank you. No, I'm good. No, I'm all right. Please go ahead. No, that's not going to be possible, right? Get comfortable. Start to feel good about saying no. Start to see the benefit in saying no for you and others, right? If you're saying no to a customer who, this was another big thing. Are you just accepting any and every customer that walks through your door who's going to give you money? Are you accepting anybody who's willing to pay you and you're not willing to let them go? then you're going to make space and hold space for customers and clients who are going to drain you again. Okay? So you get to practice saying no to those people. And that can look like, based on what I'm hearing, I don't get the impression we're a good fit at the time. However, what I can do is point you to a resource I think you're more ready for. And let's link back up sometime in the future. Do you see that? It's not about being heartless. It's not about not caring. It's just, look, let's not waste each other's time. Again, same thing with dating. It's just like dating, guys. If it doesn't seem like a good fit, say so. Be transparent. Tell them, don't waste their time and yours. Look, I don't see it going anywhere. We're not a good fit. However, go check out this book. Go check out this video, this training that I just filmed. Go, I can link you up with this other, like a therapist or another coach or something like that, right? You get to say no. And, I have a client right now who just popped into my head because, I have multiple clients who have just been deprived of and robbed of just basic human rights growing up as a child. I have entrepreneurs, I have business working professionals, because they've been robbed of their right to say no and right to disagree. They carry them with us into their adulthood, and they're an anxious, hypervigilant mess. And I have to teach them basic rights. I had to teach myself basic rights. I was not allowed to disagree with mommy and daddy as a kid. I was not allowed to say no, right? I got sent to my room. I got sent here, couldn't have dinner or whatever, right? And that's how you end up, that's typically why you end up operating this way and giving all your power away, trying to earn people, trying to earn customers, rather than them needing to step up to you and play on your level. Do you want customers you have to downgrade yourself to, or do you want customers who are going to have to upgrade themselves? They're going to have to stand up on their 2 feet and step up and play on your level. Do you see that? It's all about holding firm, knowing what you want, knowing who your customer is, your dream customer, your most perfect customer is, and saying no to everyone who's not. All right? So being comfortable saying no. Okay? Point number 5, we're going to go to 10 here. Point number 5 is to start setting boundaries. Saying no is part of that. A boundary can be, I say no. Like I say no to clients who try to haggle me down. I say no to customers and clients who try to barter with me. Right? I say no to clients and customers that I feel like I need to chase. Like you just say no. I say no to people who are negative around me and tend to are very self-defeating. I just say no to that. I say no to that energy. I say no to those type of people. And because of that, your actions will begin to change and actually begin to support you, right? You don't have to keep anyone in your life, guys. You don't have to keep anyone, family or friends, it doesn't matter. If it's not supportive of you, let it go. If it's not supportive, just, there's another time and there's another place for that person. And it's not in the relationship or position they are with you if they're not supportive, okay? And I talked about setting boundaries in the past. If you guys do you guys want me to do a live training about boundaries? Let me know. Drop the word boundary or boundaries in the comments. Do you guys want more information about setting boundaries or no? Drop the word in the comments if you want more information on that. I get that question often, how to properly set a boundary so that people don't explode. Can't guarantee you the exploding part or the not exploding part, but I can guarantee you that you won't explode. That's the most important thing, right? So being able to set a boundary in a very healthy way. If you guys want more information about that, drop boundary in the comments. This lets me know what you guys are interested in learning more about. Next piece here, next principle here is to stop trying to save everyone. Stop trying to save everyone. Stop trying to rescue your clients. Stop trying to rescue your family, your spouse, your kids. Stop trying to rescue everybody, because you're going to leak yourself thin. You're going to drain everything by trying to rescue people who do not want to be helped, especially customers and clients. I've had customers and clients pay me who do not want to be helped. Imagine working with that. Now I say no, we're not going there. Believe it or not, people will pay you to prove themselves right, in that they can't be helped. And you do not want to get stuck with these people, okay? And that's when you get to say no instead of boundary for yourself, okay? Stop trying to rescue. Stop trying to ease the pain of others. That's not your job. It's not your job to ease everyone's pain and suffering. That's not the role. You have a bigger purpose in life being here. And it's not to rescue everyone from their suffering. That's not your job. And you can't. Anyway, you can't. It's impossible. Okay? Number 8 here goes back to toxic environments. So like we talked about boundaries, you want to set physical boundaries with people, environmental boundaries, right? Like, if something doesn't feel good in your home, get rid of it. If it doesn't have a good feeling around it, get rid of it. You want to keep that authority hierarchy with your clients, right? So you want to make sure that when you're with your clients, if they're friends, you're in a coach mode when you're with them, and you're friends outside of that, right? So get rid of anything or anyone that's toxic in your life, right? My mom didn't know about my business for 2.5 years because she was my biggest naysayer in my life. She didn't know about my business for 2.5 years, and that's why it's still going today. Okay? Get rid of toxic people, get rid of toxic energy, get rid of the naysayers. They're going to be there. There's nothing you can do about it. Switch your focus, switch your attention. Okay? Number 9 here is to let go of blame. To let go of blame. Stop pointing fingers. Stop making everyone else wrong. You lose your power that way. You lose your power. You bring out the worst in yourself as a coach and a leader. When you trash talk other coaches, when you make everybody sound like they don't know what they're talking about, but you do, you don't look good at all. You look like you have to tear everyone else down to make yourself a better coach or to a better leader. What makes you better? This doesn't make you look good at all. It's very obvious. It's very transparent. When you think you're the number one person in the world for everyone to come to, look, you can't help everyone. I don't care what kind of coach you are, a consultant, you can't help everybody. So when you trash talk other people, when you blame customers and clients, you look like a victim yourself. And nobody's going to pay a victim $5,000, $6,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 programs and packages. You're not going to sell that, because nobody's going to buy from someone who brings out the worst in themselves by trash talking others, by talking trash about their other clients or past clients. I'm not here talking trash about past clients. You're just clearly letting them know it's not a good fit. It's just not a good fit, not a good vibration, and not a match. That's different than saying they're crap, they're trash, right? That's not fair, first of all. So you don't look better by blaming your customers and clients either. Because when you blame your customers and clients on your enrollment calls and you make them wrong, then you will never do the things you need to do to empower yourself even more and build the skills that you need to in order to attract and convert high ticket paying customers. Because there's no need for you to build the skill, right? Like, it's everybody else's fault. So what's the point in becoming a better coach and becoming a better salesperson, becoming a better creating a better conversion process? Because it's always the client's fault. You will never work on yourself if you never see anything at fault. If you will never work on yourself if you're blaming everyone else. And unfortunately that ends up happening a lot in the coaching world. And even not in the coaching world, even for people who are just business professionals, you end up blaming your boss, you end up blaming your colleague, you end up blaming your kids, your spouse. Stop doing all that. You bring out the worst in yourself and you make yourself look low value, whether you're a coach or not. You want to make yourself look like a low value person in society, start blaming everyone else for your problems. Nobody's going to pay you for that. Nobody. Okay? And the last thing here is to stop making yourself guilty of what you want in life. And instead, how do you want to feel? What is it that's not that feels better? Right? Like, start to realize you deserve what you work for. You deserve what you work for. And you don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't owe anyone anything at all, period. End of story. You get to go after the type of business, the type of life purpose you want to create without owing anyone an explanation. And when you shift these 10 principles, especially with this example that I gave, if you're rushing always to get out of people's way, start to challenge that. Start to challenge who's actually in authority here. And you're going to start to surprise yourself. I went through this process and you're going to flip tables over because you're going to start to realize that all of the authority has always been inside of you. It's just never felt that way, maybe in the past. Okay? So I have to wrap up here. My voice is about gone. But if you got value out of this video, go ahead and type the word value in the comments. If you want more coaching, you want more mentoring, you want more one-on-one support, go ahead, drop the word power below in the comments. That will signal me or someone from my team to reach out to you through Messenger over the next 24 hours. And we'll see if what I have is a good fit for you, if this is a proper solution for you to get your power back in your life, okay? So if you got value out of this, put value below. If you're looking, you're like, hey, I need help now. I like what you're saying. I like what I hear. I just don't know how to do it and I'm ready to go. Drop the word power below in the comments. And again, me or someone from my team will reach out to you directly and we'll explain to you how this process works. So awesome to see you guys here. Awesome to see you, Maria. Looking forward to you guys who check in on the replay. Let me know all of your thoughts as you're rolling through the replays, and I'll see you next week. Guys, go get your power back. Go out to the store. Take your time. Don't rush. Take your time. Relax. And enjoy taking up time and space on this earth. Go live your life. So guys, have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you in the group. Bye now.